Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. And on today's video, well, we have said goodbye to the Ryft. Long-term viewers will know I have no love for that truck at all. And not to say it's not a decent kit. It just, I bought it because we went to the hobby shop. My wife really liked it and she was like, hey, I want to get you this. And, you know, I knew it had some issues, but you know, I figured, it should be fine. It wasn't fine. It's way overpowered with 3S. And I made the mistake of sticking 3S in there and trying to run it. And broke a couple different things on the first two outings and was like, I hate this thing. And pretty much just sat in the corner for the longest time. And then probably a month or two ago, I took the motor and ESC out of it. I figured, okay, I can transplant that into something else or, you know, just try to get rid of the Ryft. And then one of the viewers reached out. He's actually trying to start his own channel. He's got some videos out there now, and hopefully he'll keep adding to them. But No Music RC reached out and was like, hey, what would you want for the Ryft? Honestly, I've tried selling it before, but everybody was lowballing me, and, you know, I'll give you 50 bucks if you ship it to Wyoming for me for free. And, you know, it's cost me 50 bucks to ship it to Wyoming. So, you know, I kind of just stopped putting it on Marketplace and just kind of gave up on trying to sell it. But he reached out, and No Music RC has watched pretty much every one of my videos and has commented on every one of my videos in the last 4 or 5 months. We've chatted a lot. So I said, you know, hey, email me and we'll talk about it. And he emailed me, and I said, and he offered up a bunch of stuff in trade. You know, hey, would you like this and trade, this and trade, this and trade, this and trade? And I was like, honestly, just send me your address and I'll send you the truck. I'm not worried about it, but it doesn't come with the motor and ESC. And he wasn't worried about that. But he wanted to trade or offer something for it. So one of the trades that he had mentioned was the Arma Typhon 3S. So I've got one, yeah. But I would like to turn this one kind of into more of a track buggy, or keep mine stock and turn this one into more of a psycho buggy. One of the two. I'm not sure which way we're going yet. But he was like, I really want to give you something for it. He goes, it's way too much to, you know, just send me that for free. So I was like, fine. If it makes you happy, send me the Typhon and trade for the Ryft. So I boxed the Ryft up, sent it out to him, and a little while later he boxed the Typhon up and sent it over to me. Well, I got the box and it had the Typhon in it, but it had other stuff in it as well. So all this is a fairly stock Typhon. He did put these aluminum aftermarket shocks, and he kept talking about leaky shocks, leaky shocks, leaky shocks. I understand now why you complained about leaky shocks. In messing with this, these shocks, they're all aluminum cap, aluminum body, aluminum lower, and there's no good crimp or binder to keep the three pieces from separating. So essentially, when this thing's driving around, it will just start twisting the shock body loose and twisting the bottoms loose, and then oil starts leaking out. So I've already tinkered with it a little bit. What I did on the fronts is I actually I took them apart, not all the way, just took the caps off, topped it off with oil, and then I took a junk pair of snips, you know, the plastic sprue cutters, and I just crimped 4 spots around the threads. Now, you want to try to get it as straight up and down as possible. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but the straighter up and down you can get it, and you don't want to like bear down on it like you're trying to cut it. All you're trying to do is dent those threads. So when you put the cap on, you can still screw it on, may have some resistance to it, but that resistance is going to keep it from wanting to unthread. So I've done that to the front, and you can grab the shock bodies and twist them and they don't come undone. You can grab the rears and twist them and they just start coming unscrewed. So I still got to work on the rears. Now when I got this, there was some issues. It would go, and that's as far as it would go. It was like locked up. Basically what that was the front diff. The bearings had gotten water in them and had rusted shut. So both outside ones, like that one's locked up, that one's running smooth, but then the input bearings, one's locked up and one's moving about 1/8 of a turn. So essentially the whole thing was locked up. Now it's running fine. There is one bearing back here that's making a little bit of noise, but I'm hoping, we're just going to grind that back in. Now, I will get a whole bearing set for this one probably, because obviously there's a few in here that aren't happy, but I'm not upset. I got rid of a truck I didn't want and got something I'm more than happy to play with. Now, he has run this fairly well. This tire is not too bad, but this one's about shot. Now, let's see. This one, the rear arm, well, we've got a lot of play there because it's broken. And I was like, doesn't look like it hit anything, but I mean, okay. Now I figured out what's wrong. This tire has about, this much sand and gravel in it. And obviously when that thing is spinning up, it's going ripping those arms back and forth. So that's probably what broke that. No worries. I've got a full set of upper and lower arms and links for this that came off my Granite. Exact same arms. So all I'm going to do is swap that out and we're good to go. I was able to pick up a full set of stock wheels and tires. Now these are the gunmetal gray. I got a great deal on these and the other parts as well. Found a guy on eBay that has a whole ton of Arrma parts and reasonably priced. So full set of wheels and tires, $27. And then in case these are still leaky, I got a full set of front and rear shocks, $19. And then I got a whole pile of replacement screws, hardware, all that stuff for this, $8. So I don't know what this guy does. It looks like he strips down and fixes and sells Arrma stuff all the time. So he had a ton of stock parts. So yeah, under $50, I got wheels and tires, shocks, and pretty much all the hardware for this thing that we needed. The hardware actually did come with the little rubber tie downs as well, because I needed some for the rears because one was broken and one was on its way out. So I am tickled pink with this, but he decided to sweeten the deal and send me stuff that I wasn't aware he was sending me. So I was presented with this box sitting on top, and it says Losi XXX question mark. So I'm like, what in the world has he sent me? So what he has sent me is this is a Losi XXS ready to run on-road car. Now there's more parts and pieces to it in a bag, but had to put the motor plate in here. The only thing it looks like I'm missing is this top cover. I'll be looking for that. Obviously tires are kind of hard and tired, so we'll be finding some new touring car tires for this, but it has the belts here ready to go. The belts are in good shape. Just need to kind of get it all put back together and plop a body on there. What body I'll run, I'm not sure, but it has the rear body posts, has the front body post, which they mount totally different. I can't remember. I have the instructions on the computer, but overall this thing is in great shape. I mean, it's been run. It's got some scrapes and scratches on the bottom, but very, very little. Now he does have the front bumper that's in another container, but I was kind of shocked and blown away when I opened up the box and we've got a little XXS roller in here. So that was really, really cool. And it looks like parts are fairly reasonable to find and not terribly priced. So we've got the Typhon, and now we've got a Losi Triple XS. You know, I'm over the moon at this point. Well, then there's this huge bag of stuff. So we have, this is the front bumper with the body posts, and then a set of drift tires for the Triple XS. Well, actually, that's the rear. Sorry, that's the rear body post. Front bumper and body post for it. And then we have the instructions for the Typhon, and then a handful of other instructions. This is the extra hardware and everything for the Triple XS. And then we get into this ginormous bag of goodies. Oh, we have more knuckles. But then we have a BLX 100 Arma ESC, brushless ESC. So we have that. And then there's another one. Now, this one says stutters, so maybe that's a cap issue. Maybe it's just bad ESC. We'll see. I think this was in the Triple XS. This is a XL5 track to speed controller and a LiPo cutoff. And then we have a Outrunner motor, E-Flight Power 10, 1100 kV Outrunner. Not really sure what I'll put that in, but I'm sure I can find something to put it in. If anything, we'll see. 1100 kV, maybe that'll run in a crawler. And then we have one brushless ESC for a plane. Looks like 6 to 12 cell count. And then we have a small Mamba 25 ESC, and this is a brushless ESC for like a mini, like a mini T or a mini B or something like that. But this has never even had the leads soldered onto it, so this one's brand new. It looked like it may have tried to be installed, but like I said, the leads don't look like they've ever been soldered onto anything. So I believe this is brand new. So this is pretty awesome. I can get that tossed into a mini. And then we have 3 mini motors. So we have a Hacker mini motor, and this is a 3700 kV. So this should fit right into like a mini T. And all I gotta do is just solder leads on that, and then we can literally hook that up to that. And then we have 2 other ones here, and I don't even know what these are. They're unmarked motors. I'm assuming these were probably flight motors. Not sure, just because it has the big radial heatsink on there. So as normally in an RC car, you at least have one open end. So I'm assuming those are probably for aircraft. But the Hacker motor, that should be gutsy enough to put in a mini car. That we can pair that with the Mamba and put that in one of the minis. And then we have a Aquacraft 45 amp brushless ESC, and then we have Aquacraft 50 amp brushless ESC. Then we have Helimax ESC that's never been used. And then we have a Quark 22 amp. This says Procar, so that's potentially another mini controller. And then we have the Phoenix Edge from Castle. This is an 8S capable 34 volt 5 amp BEC flight controller. Never been used, or it has been. Well, this one may have been used. That one looks like it didn't come unsoldered. And then a Hermes 35 amp 6 to 20 nickel cell or 2 to 6 LiPo. So if I decide to get into flying, I have got tons and tons of ESCs. Well, alright guys, so we have the buggy and it's all kind of been rebuilt. And slight change of plans with it, but we'll get to that in a moment. So got everything cleaned up, and I have a bag of dead parts here. So there were a lot of bad bearings in this, both in the front diff and in the transmission here. I started it up, it was driving, it was moving, but it had a terrible high-pitched squeal out of this. Turned out both bearings in here were pretty much locked up. The front one was completely locked up. The back one was more or less locked up, and the gear was spinning inside of the bearing opening. So glad I went ahead and pulled that all apart. I had this Protec fan on here. I've adapted a aluminum heatsink. It was a super cheap thing I bought off of Amazon that had terrible fans. It was designed for the 540 motor, so this was a lot bigger. So it just basically had to flex it out and took two big zip ties and strap down there. The heatsink may not make that big of a difference, but it did allow me to kind of offset that fan a little bit and hopefully, get it to work a little bit better than just the fan sitting on there. You'll notice the Arma shocks are on it. I could not get those aluminum shocks to not want to spin apart. Even with putting the crimps in there, if you grabbed it and twisted it, the body would start coming undone. So I didn't really have a whole lot of faith that those were going to last. Got the new rear arms on. I replaced both just because they were like $8 for a set. So I figured replace both of them. I know I don't have any cracks or anything I don't see. And I have the old one as a spare. Fronts were fine. Now I did go through and replace all the links, so steering links and upper links, front and rear, just because the plastic balls inside the plastic links had just gotten chewed all apart, and the link was basically just flopping around. So these are a little bit snugger, so now there's not as much play. Oh, I did replace the center drive shaft, again, $7-8 part. And the other center drive shaft was working fine. It just had a lot of sand and stuff in there chewing it up, so it didn't slide very well. So I just replaced that just because I was there. Like I said, went to the hobby shop, bought a handful of parts, and wasn't very expensive. So overall, I've got $120-ish worth of parts that I've replaced. The wheels and tires were kind of the bulk of that. The wheels and tires and shocks. And the shocks I bought kind of thinking I would replace them or may need to replace them. But like I said, those aluminum ones, they look really good, but I think overall we're just going to cause more headache down the road. So just went back with the stock Arma ones for now. I did look at the big bore ones from Proline, but yeah, I'm not spending that much money on a set of shocks. So as far as changes of plans, this one is going to be kind of the basher. And then this one is going to be the race setup. So this one's just going to go out, have fun. So this one already has the adjustable links on it. I looked to get the adjustable links for this one, but my hobby shop didn't have them, so they had these, and like I said, it was like $10-12 for a set. So I went ahead and just stuck those on there for now. And again, this is just going to be the basher one, so that's completely fine. This one is a 3S BLX buggy. This one started life as a 550 Mega. So overall, the diffs and everything in this one are going to be tougher and more tunable than these. I'd have to upgrade the diffs in this one to kind of do a little bit more with it. So I think this one's going to stay the basher. This one's going to get tuned for taking out to like Al's track. Al has a much bigger track than mine, so once, now that the weather's a little bit nicer, I'm going to try to plan on getting over there. It still has all the dirt and dust on it from last time it was over there at Al's track. So this one's going to kind of be relegated for, bombing around his track, enjoying it out there. And this one's just going to be, set to just bash around the yard and have fun with. So kind of have best of both worlds. I can get this one tuned up a little bit better and get this one just out having a good time. So one other thing I forgot to mention, when this showed up, I opened up the box and pulled the car out, and dollar bills started coming out of it. So he'd actually stuck $60 in here. Which, again, he didn't have to do that. But I appreciate it. That paid for the wheels and tires and the shocks and, all the other little parts and everything. Not a problem at all. So I do appreciate it. But this thing here was strapped into the battery box. And I'm like, oh my God, today's the day I'm going to get blown up by a pipe bomb. But actually what this is, it holds like a little D-cell battery up in here. And you can hang this and then hang something from it. So I will try to find something that I can get hung up in here and rotate around, maybe the channel logo or something. But kind of a cool little neat thing. But again, I thought he was gonna blow me up. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again so much, and go down in the description below and check out No Music RC, and hopefully he'll be adding some more videos up soon. And sorry it took a little bit to get this video out, but just had other things in front of it. So everybody out there, as always, you guys be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.